Welcome to a Trucker's Mind podcast. I'm Eddie McGee.
It's your boy K Things.
We're back, man. Episode 235.
Yes, sir.
All right. Before we get started, I have to. It's a very different day. It's a very unfortunate day for some people with Androids, and others who are on the iPhone team. They'll probably be, giving me a big hug. But I just recently became the newest member of the Rockefeller team.
I'm dead. You gonna get a chain?
No. I just became the newest member of the iPhone team. Mm-hmm. I just got an iPhone yesterday, and I did it more for convenience purposes because everybody I know has an iPhone, and I got tired of being the only nigga with a green bubble in a conversation.
Yeah.
And not only that, but it's easier to transfer files and memory and things of that nature. And yeah, I'm having a lot of fun with this phone, man. I never thought I would have an iPhone. I just didn't think I would switch because I it's almost like I was a little bit of a contrarian a little bit because I was like, man, fuck iPhones. I ain't just because y'all talking all that stuff, I'm not gonna leave my Android. I'm sticking with my Android.
And the culture too.
Yeah,
like, man, why you ruining the group chat, and like why can't you send, like, remember back in the day they didn't even have like the emojis.
Nah,
like, Androids was super late to the game with the emojis.
Yeah, they didn't.
I used to have to text people like, yo, what is this? Like, you be texting a girl and then they send you an emoji. You be like, I used to hit my boy Mercy, like, Mercy, what is this?
Yeah, they'll hit you with it, but it'll come out, either that or it'll come out weird on your phone.
Mm-hmm.
You'll be
like these little rectangles.
Like, why is this nigga sending me stick figures? What the fuck is going on?
Yeah.
And then you'll be texting a chick and then they'll be like, I just sent you this. Or when you, or they'll send you a picture of them, but it'll be like that bitmoji thing. Mm-hmm. And then you'll be like, what the fuck is this? I can't send this back. Mm-hmm. What is this?
Yeah. I had a joke last time I did stand up. I had a joke about switching from Android to iPhone. Uh-huh. And I was saying, like, having an Android phone is like bringing a white girl home to a black family. How is that? What's the parallel? It's just like you just get these looks like, this nigga, man.
Oh, man. Yeah. But yeah, man, I just became a part of Team iPhone, and the phone's been good to me so far. I can't complain. Mm-hmm. Everything's real smooth, and then I got the 14, so I'm up to date with the iPhone. Yeah, I'm sure that this phone is probably no different than the last 9, but.
There you go. You only know that phone though.
Yeah, I only know this phone though. I had an iPhone way back in 2008 though. Mm-hmm. That's the very first iPhone that ever came out. Mm-hmm. And it was just a different experience back then. Back then they didn't even have MMS messages. You had to send that MMS message as an email. That's the only way you could send it. And it was a heavier phone. It was a straight metal. The phone was pure metal in the back. And it had like a little black like cap at the bottom. Mm-hmm. And I was like, yo, I got an iPhone. Mm-hmm. And it was crazy is I was able to use that iPhone on a prepaid, bro.
Wow.
I had AT&T prepaid, and I was able to get the SIM card out of that, put it in the iPhone. I had a prepaid motherfucking iPhone, bro.
Yeah.
I was the first nigga in Bakersfield to have a prepaid iPhone.
That's something to be proud of.
Yes, sir.
It definitely, I haven't even maximized the capabilities in terms of creating content. I've been like super slacking, but super easy. Like, a lot of people are shooting content. There are people get millions of views on skits only using iPhone and editing inside of the iMovie. So
yes.
It's definitely a great tool to have. And then the biggest thing is that we don't want to be in spaces where we come across the podcast or we come across a musician, whatever the case may be, and they asking for certain content, and we like, airdrop it to me, and it's like, oh dang, like I don't got no iPhone, let me email it to you.
There you go.
And it's like, what's your email? And then by the time everything get lost in translation,
don't care no more.
It go to the spam, all these different things. Like, you just don't want to miss out on no opportunities for having an Android phone.
The convenience is too much. It's very convenient. He could airdrop me shit, or I could send something somewhere else. Mm-hmm. But I'm still figuring out how to use this phone. But it's a decent phone. Mm-hmm. Can't complain. But we won't bore you with any more of my iPhone experience. Okay, let's go ahead and get into the show.
There you go.
All right, switching gears. A truckload of dildos got in an accident. I know that this may sound like a lie, but hear me out, folks. Just give me a moment, okay? Truck believed to be full of sex toys overturns on Oklahoma I-40 freeway. A local news station's traffic broadcast has gone viral after a semi-trailer full of what was believed to be lubricant and dildos flipped on the Oklahoma City highway. Traffic on the Interstate 40 near Mustang on the western fringes of Oklahoma City was brought to a halt on Wednesday when the truck reportedly transporting personal lubricant and sex toys flipped over, colliding with another. I guess all the lubricant made the dildo slip around. But its load was strewn over the motorway, sending KWTV's News 9 quickly hovering, checking to check it out. While neither knew at the time what had spilled over the road, morning anchor Lacey Lowry and the station's helicopter pilot Jim Gardner began to engage in what would become some hilarious banter. Gardner said the semi had overturned and lost its load. Lowry then responded asking Gardner if they could tell what was they carrying, what's all over the road. Jim took his time to respond as the camera zoomed in on the boxes, which appeared to have fake phallus printed on the side. Wow. Whatever it is, it's going to take a while to clean up, Gardner finally responded. While the contents of the trailer was never actually confirmed, it didn't stop minds across the world from going straight to the gutter. And here's the thing. They did zoom in, and it was literal dildos. But it wasn't just regular dildos. It was the big dildo that had the extra fingers on it. you know those, I guess, the dildos women use that it's like for the clitoris and the vagina at the same time?
Yeah.
Women, you guys want it all. Why, like, what's going on?
That, you know what? I had this idea. I was like, a lot of people are like, oh, sex is not what it should be because all these guys are watching porn and they think that,
right.
Sex is supposed to look like that. Well, women, my dick doesn't do a 360.
Right.
So.
Right.
Yeah.
My penis does not have a clitoris attachment on it.
That's what Andrew Short said, like the vibrator doing the Millie rock.
Yeah, it's like, come on. Are you guys gonna fuck robots or humans? Like, what's going on?
Yeah.
Here? You literally got a whole truckload full of robotic dildos that were all over the road.
Yeah.
And you guys are using these things, and it's like, look, man, and these are big ones, man.
Yeah.
I'm not intimidated. I do okay for myself, but not like this.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
that's funny.
Yeah, that's wild. But I just thought it was hilarious. But here's the thing that I also wanted to get out there is you have no idea, like when you disrespect truck drivers or you tell them like, oh, fuck you, you're driving too slow or whatever, you guys wouldn't even be able to have sex with yourself if it wasn't for a truck driver. Mm-hmm. Every item in your home has been on a truck at some point. Mm-hmm. We solely rely on our trucking industry to get everything everywhere. And you know who's really at the top of the food chain for truck drivers, believe it or not?
Who's that?
Me. I'm a fuel hauler. And without me bringing fuel into Bakersfield, nobody goes anywhere. The cops don't go nowhere. The ambulance don't go nowhere. No one goes anywhere. If we just said, hey, we're not doing our job.
You can't go nowhere.
Yeah, nobody can go anywhere. So, like, everything you do was on a truck. Everything you do, including sex toys, dildos, lubricants, things like that. Yeah, some dudes commit to the sex toy thing too, but they be getting them fake asses with the vagina attached to it.
Yeah, I seen those. They just kind of like prop up.
Yeah, it's crazy,
like spongy.
I think I seen it. It was like it's a real sex toy. It's called fuck. It was like a big black booty with a vagina on it, and the item is called "Fuck My Big Black Ass."
That's wild.
That's literally what it's called.
That is crazy.
That's a crazy name, but people are buying it. Go Google it, folks. Don't listen to me. Go Google it, and that's what it's called.
They got the pocket pussy too.
Yeah, that's just too much commitment, man. You got to get a real vagina.
It's also weird because, like, how do you clean that out?
I don't know.
Yeah.
And then imagine if you're trying to share that. Hey, man, you could use it, bro. It's cool.
Yeah, that was like on Blue Mountain State. Did you see that?
I don't think I've seen that.
Yeah, it was that like kind of like it was like the what do you call that? This is a college humor show about football team. They were sharing a pocket pussy.
Was it on Netflix back in the day?
I don't think so. It might have like
a
premiered on
a football show, basically.
Yeah, it was like football, but like
that.
sex jokes and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But they were sharing their pocket pussy, and then they always catching STDs.
Oh man, nasty. Well, here's a reality that nothing in this world moves without trucks. That's really the point I wanted to get across. Okay. I know we started off hot with the dildos, and I know some of you guys got excited. I know, okay? But it's not that type of show, okay?
Yeah.
I mean, we do not have a dildo giveaway here on the Trucker's Mind podcast.
But if they want to sponsor us and the money is right.
Yeah, right. That would be crazy. This is like the whole beginning of the podcast will be just nothing but ads. 15 minutes of just sex toys.
Yeah.
They're like, have you ever thought about having a sex doll? Well, meet my what's that one called? They call them real dolls. I seen somebody that had bought one, and it's just like it's too real. Like, dude, at some point you got to go out and get a real woman because that's crazy.
They talk too much though.
Oh. I just want some pussy. I don't want all this. Damn. That's wild.
Funny.
You know what'd be crazy? Imagine this. Imagine if you get in an argument like with your wife or something, and she's like, if you leave me, you'll never have another woman like me. And then what you do is you go buy a doll with the exact same measurements. You recreate your wife, and as soon as she gets on your nerves, you be like, you know what? Just get out. I already got a doll. Okay.
Dang.
I got a doll.
But you recreate her, but you enhance her. And you like do all the measurements. The booty is the same way. Maybe the titties is a little bit bigger. And you remove the mouth.
No, you got to keep the mouth. No, what you do is you don't do anything to the body. You just make the body the way it was when you first met him.
Ooh.
Because you know it's probably about another 80 pounds there.
That relationship way hit different, huh?
Oh, man.
That's funny.
Yeah, the women listeners are going to hate that joke.
Yeah.
It's a joke, ladies. Okay. we love the fact that you gain 80 pounds.
You're perfect.
Yeah.
Just the way you are.
Just the way you are. Yeah. That's what you want us to say. All right. Switching gears. Chick-fil-A. Recently, a Chick-fil-A employee stopped a carjacker from stealing the car while the child was around. So let me go ahead and read this little story here. Chick-fil-A. An employee held for stopping man with carjacking mother with infant. Thomas Michael Gordon praises one incredible individual after fighting off a assailant outside a Florida restaurant. An employee of Chick-fil-A, a restaurant in Florida, no, it's a restaurant everywhere, you dick. Anyways, is being praised as a hero after he fought off a man trying to steal a car from a woman getting her infant out of the vehicle in a harrowing parking lot confrontation captured on video. Incredibly, it wasn't even the first time that 26-year-old Thomas Michael Gordon rushed to save someone in distress near his workplace. Wow, this nigga's a real superhero. 4 years earlier, he had reportedly helped rescue two girls after a construction crane fell on their car. Michael, you are one incredible individual, said a Facebook post from the sheriff's office investigating the would-be carjacking. According to sheriff's deputies patrolling Okaloosa County, which includes the popular tourist towns, blah, blah, blah. That's fluff. Don't need to read that. The woman had been getting the infant out of the car when a man wielding a sharpened plank approached her and demanded her keys. He then snatched the keys from her waistband, opened the door, and got into the vehicle as she shouted for help. Gordon heard her, ran to her, began tussling with the assailant. A bystander's cell phone video recorded Gordon taking the other man down, rolling around with him on the pavement, and putting him in a headlock. So this nigga did an MMA move on his ass. That's wild. I will say this, though. This is one thing that I don't like. What I don't like is this is great publicity for Chick-fil-A, right? Because Chick-fil-A already has like this very satirical, like skit-worthy customer service. Like their customer service is so great, right? Yeah. That they're like, oh my God, do you want me to wash your car? You know, I could babysit your kids. Like that's like a joke that goes, and it's good PR for the company. Yeah. But here's the problem that I hate. Is that when great people like this work for these companies, they'll be like, we appreciate your work. And to show you that we appreciate you, we got you a new pen and you could put this on your shirt. Yeah. And it's like, you are a $1 billion corporation and I just stopped somebody from jacking a car with a baby inside of it, and you niggas gave me a pen that's worth 35 cents to show me that you care.
Yeah.
And it's like two things are true about that. Maybe I'm a dick for saying that, but it's also true. But it's also true when you go out on the limb to do something kind for someone, and it's an act of courage, and you're being courageous in that moment. It doesn't always have to come with a dollar amount, you know?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I would hope that he's just doing it out of the kindness of his heart.
Right.
But it would be dope to get blessed with a $100,000 check or
Hell
something
yeah.
like that. Yeah, and a vacation or something like that. But yeah, I think that is kind of the Chick-fil-A thing. You go to Chick-fil-A, they got 4 or 5 different people greeting you. You know, somebody giving you a hug as soon as you walk in and stuff like that. But yeah, this is definitely superhero vibes. This nigga's like saving people every week.
And he's always conveniently there when something goes on.
I'm calling him Chick-fil-A man.
Instead of the bat signal, they just put a chicken on a light. It's a piece of chicken in the air. It's a piece of chicken in the sky, and he just come out of there.
What was that thing? Like eat less cow or something like that?
No, eat more chicken.
Eat more chicken. But the cow is...
it's a cow doing it, yeah. I remember when that Chick-fil-A first opened, bro. Like, I remember the first day it opened, and everybody got a free chicken sandwich.
Oh, dang.
I remember that day, man. That was in, like, 2008.
Yeah.
Yeah, that Chick-fil-A over off of, that's the only Chick-fil-A we got here.
Stockdale in California.
That's the only one we got, right?
Uh-huh.
They might as well make, like, 2 of them here, because that motherfucker be, that Chick-fil-A just disrupts the whole part of Stockdale. Yeah. Like, it's motherfuckers that's parked in a big ass circle just to get that chicken. I don't understand it.
They manipulated that whole parking lot.
I seen it.
In-N-Out and Chick-fil-A shouldn't be in the same parking lot.
No, they shouldn't even be near. They should be miles away from each other.
In-N-Out is like snaked all the way around.
It's
and
ridiculous.
You got to like drive all the way around, and it's a whole you almost need GPS to get to the drive-through part.
You damn near do, because you don't know where the fuck it starts. And somebody be like, hey, you're crowding me. And it's like, nigga, I don't know where I'm at.
I'm just driving.
I just want a burger. That's all I want.
5 years ago, I could just pull up in a drive-through.
Man, first of all, this is what needs to happen. They need to stop making In-N-Outs in shopping centers. They need to make them in a place that has more space.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure.
You shouldn't have, it should be a grocery store next to fucking In-N-Out. That's ridiculous.
Or they got to like manipulate the parking lot to where it's like just better.
Yeah.
Because you got parking spots and all these different things. They shut down all the parking spots. It's weird.
It's weird. Yeah, they shut them all down just so more people could fit in there. You know, somewhere like what's crazy is the story we had. Remember in Aurora, Colorado, where they opened up one and it was people parked for miles. I just don't know what people like. Do you not value your time?
In-N-Out must got cracking they burgers or something.
Man, I'm telling you, somebody somewhere in America has sucked a dick for a burger at In-N-Out. I don't know when they did it.
I believe
but that must be blowjob worthy burgers, the way you guys wait in that fucking line.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's nuts, man. And those fries are fucking terrible.
It's nasty. I had it the other day.
Hold on. I'm sorry. I just had something hit me right now, and I have to say this. How the fuck did Little Caesars become the official pizza of the NFL? Do you see this?
I seen who did I see on a commercial? I seen somebody on a
Stafford. Matthew Stafford was on it.
Yeah, it was somebody else. So I forgot who it was.
Oh my God. How?
Yeah.
How did you let this happen?
Hot and ready.
Little Caesars is the fucking worst, man.
Hot and ready, baby.
Yo, Little Caesars tastes like somebody just like whoever was making the pizza, like in the middle of them making it, somebody just start beating their ass and they just put it in the oven real fast. That shit tastes fucked up, man. How did they? I don't understand. Do they not eat the pizza? Do they not?
Of course
care?
not. Them niggas is not. I'm Matthew Stafford. I'm a multi-millionaire. I'm not eating no Little Caesars pizza.
I think that, and let me be clear when I say this. When I was a kid, Little Caesars was amazing. It was amazing. Like they had the pizza by the foot. They used to cut it in squares and all kind of shit. I think they made so much money off these hot and readies that it gave them like it must have gave them some type of leverage.
For sure. You got to think like back in the day, they used to have them lame local commercials where it would be like, it might be like I had some high school classmates that was in some of them little local Bakersfield Little Caesars commercials.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Now they in the big leagues, baby.
Yeah, they in the big leagues, but I mean the thing about it is Little Caesars had they have real commercials back in the 90s though, like national commercials in the 90s. They also had That wasn't Pizza Hut. I think it was Pizza Hut. That had it was called a Nard. It was called a Nard. It was like a little character they used to use. But for Little Caesars, they had real commercials. But in like the early 2000s, they had local commercials like pizza. It'd be like a little kid.
Yeah, a little kid. It was a little girl that was like doing all the commercials.
Yeah, she's doing all the commercials of the pizza. And there was another commercial I seen where this girl would be. I forgot. I think it was Mauricio. She would always like
Mauricio.
Yeah. And this little girl would like throw rice in the air. I'm like, okay.
Come down to Mauricio's. We have burritos and rice. It'd be like that little fast talking dude on there.
Yeah. He got to read it fast because he only gets 30 seconds. He can't even tell you what's on the menu and shit. Oh, man. That's wild.
That's funny stuff, man.
Why is it always a serious voice on certain commercials?
Yeah.
It's the same motherfucking voice.
Yeah.
He's like, come on down to Mauricio's. So-and-so. Yeah, man. But yeah, I don't understand how the fuck they let Little Caesars become the official pizza of the NFL. That shit tastes like...
Yeah, that was shocking.
Man, that shit tastes like they got some... I don't know. It tastes like a loaf of bread that dried up, and then they just said put sauce on it and just said fuck it. That's how it tastes.
It tastes like somebody was like trying to make this like great meal, right? And then they got all the ingredients, and then they just forget the one main ingredients, and they like, man, I'm gonna just put it together.
Yeah,
and it's just missing that one little thing.
Yeah, Little Caesars pizza tastes like a bunch of diced up EBT cards with sauce on it.
I'm dead.
And then they come out with these. like the crazy bread. I seen a comment one time that had me dying, and Little Caesars responded to it. It was like, because you know how they have like big companies have social media accounts that respond back to the customers. Little Caesars was in the comments, and he said, I got the crazy bread last time. It wasn't even that crazy. and then Little Caesars responded like, how could we help you? And he's like, don't be sending me these automated messages, nigga. I need my issue fixed. That shit was hilarious. Like, y'all crazy bread wasn't even that crazy.
I got the crazy bread last time. That was comedy.
I literally have not been to Little Caesars in years just because I'm so afraid of being let down again and like permanently not fucking with them.
Yeah, don't do it to yourself.
I'm not gonna do that to myself, bro. I feel like those pizzas, the hot and ready's, is for people that's like going through a tough time. You know what I'm saying? Your girl just left you. You lost your job.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Shit's, you know, you going through depression and shit.
That's a perfect meal.
You seeing a therapist, nigga, you need to go get the Little Caesars pizza.
Yeah.
You might as well.
That'll get you regular.
Yeah, no, I won't get you. You'll get constipated. You won't be regular after eating that shit.
The prices went up. They don't got that $5.
It's like $7 now.
Yeah. Huh? Everything is going up, bro.
I know. You're charging me more money for a bad pizza. And here's the fucked up part. They probably dropped the value down even more. So y'all putting less sauce. It's even more dry.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, man.
They I seen that article you posted with the $20,000 houses and stuff like that. You posted on your story.
No, it wasn't $20,000. It was $7,400.
Oh God, dang!
$7,400, and per month it was like $47 a month.
Yeah, I'm like, bro.
Houses,
yeah.
We came from that, and the sad part about it is, you think about the houses now. A lot of houses now are poorly made. Poorly made, cheap ass materials. They showed a video of a house that was being built next to a already established neighborhood, but it was kind of raining kind of hard, and the whole fucking shit, the whole structure just fell down. And I'm like, bro, all they did was get a bunch of wood. And it's like, we're paying, and out here in Bakersfield, some of these pretty good houses, they're going for $375, $380. So I gotta pay $380,000 for a house that's made of these materials.
Yeah, good luck.
Yeah, a same house that's prone to have termites and motherfucking mold in it, just like any other house. I don't know about that, Jack. I don't know about that. They got to change the materials they use, man. They got to start using like some like they might have to get away from wood, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I think wood is the easiest to probably mass produce.
Yeah, I don't know what else they would use.
Oh, they could use the shit they make the when you're waiting on the bus, the park benches. What if they use that material?
That's metal though.
That's not metal. That's recycled plastic.
Recycled plastic on the benches?
I'm not talking about the metal benches. I'm talking about the ones that are made from recycled plastic.
Literally. Oh, I don't know if that could hold up I don't know.
I mean, them park benches been there for over 20 years.
They've been holding up bums for a long time.
I've been sleeping on this thing for 28 years. It's as 30 as I was when I first smoked crack on it.
That's crazy.
Yo, that's wild, yo. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, shout out to Chick-fil-A, man. And shout out to this young man. It's just unfortunate that with his heroic behavior and his selfless behavior, it won't be rewarded very well. It's gonna be like the main guy from Chick-fil-A headquarters is gonna come down. I just wanted to shake your hand and give you this pen, and it's like,
yeah,
nigga, this pen is worth 3
nigga,
cents.
if you don't go back to your office,
he gonna shake my hand, give me a $3 pen, and then go buy some prostitutes as soon as he leave the motherfucking property. Yeah, he gonna just do the Chick-fil-A, get all that Chick-fil-A money and go buy some pussy. That's crazy. Switching gears, Brett Favre. Brett Favre was recently involved in some shit, and that shit was welfare fraud. It's kind of sad to see the guy that you see throwing touchdowns as a kid, and he is stealing from the less fortunate. Yeah. What a piece of shit. Former Mississippi governor helped Brett Favre obtain welfare funds for University Volleyball Stadium. Texts show it. Basically, an investigative report by Mississippi Today revealed Tuesday that former Mississippi Governor Phil Bryant helped the former quarterback, Brett Favre, obtain welfare funds in order to help build the new volleyball center at the University of Southern Mississippi. The news organization reviewed text messages from 2017 and 2019 that were filed Monday in the state of Mississippi civil lawsuit over misspent welfare funds. The texts were filed by an attorney representing Nancy New, who was already pleaded guilty to 13 felony counts of bribery. Fuck. She's going to jail for a long time. Mm-hmm. I was flabbergasted. Fraud and racketeering for her role in the welfare scheme. New to the founder of the Mississippi Community Education Center, which was tasked with spending tens of millions in federal welfare funds to help the state. State auditors determined that nonprofit leaders misspent at least $77 million in welfare funds in the largest case of public fraud in Mississippi history. Oh, my God. So you mean to tell me Brett Favre is a part of this? This is wild. $77 million of misspent money. All right. The text show Favre, New, and Bryant discussing how to divert at least $5 million in welfare funds to build a volleyball stadium at Southern Miss. Favre played football at Southern Miss, and his daughter was a volleyball player there at the time. Some of the texts were sent. If you were to pay me, is there any way the media can find out where it came from and how much Favre asked New in 2017? So that's where he fucked up. Brett Favre is so out of the loop with technology. He literally created a paper trail and incriminating evidence against himself by asking that fucking question in a text message. You fucking idiot. Anyways, after telling Favre, we never have that information publicized, she circled back to him the next day. Wow, just got off the phone with Phil Bryant. He is on board with us. We will get this done, New told Favre. In another text sent July 2019, Bryant told New he had just finished meeting with Favre and asked if they could help with his project. Favre's attorney, Bud Holmes, denied Mississippi Today for blah, blah, blah. All right. Okay. I think I've read enough. Hold on. Oh, but hold up. No, this is important at the end. Last year, Favre paid back $600,000 to the state of Mississippi, an amount he had been paid for speeches he gave. Oh, wow. He got paid for speeches he gave. He got paid $600,000. Wow. Mm-hmm. And the amount he had been paid for speeches he never even gave the speeches. Mm-hmm. This guy is just a piece of shit all around.
Yeah.
God damn. That he never gave. Favre was commissioned in 2017 and 18 to promote a state. Oh, no. Here it is. He never gave them, not because he didn't give them, but he had to make up a lie in order to get that money from them. To get those funds out, they had to say like he basically was giving these speeches to get paid that much.
I got you.
Okay. Commission 2017-18 to promote a state poverty fighting initiative to receive $1.1 million. The state auditor's office reported that he initially gave back $500,000 of the amount, but earlier this month, Favre was asked in a letter to repay the remainder plus interest. Wow. Okay, here's the deal, man. not only does it make me sick, it makes me sick that politicians and people who are part of the 1% are stealing from poor people. This is no different than, this is the age-old problem that's been going on. These major corporations, politicians, or these conglomerates have been taken from underserved people for a very long time. The same people that they will demonize and say, they're lazy, they're on welfare, they don't want to get a job. They don't want to get a job. Not everybody on welfare is some lazy person that's stealing from the government. Mm-hmm. There are some of us that grew up and had to get food stamps. There are times that if we didn't have food stamps or cash aid from welfare, that I would have not eaten. Mm-hmm. I'm not a lazy man. As a man, I'm a hardworking guy. I don't bleed the welfare system, but let me tell you, there was times I definitely needed it. And imagine a motherfucker like Brett Favre taking money away from kids who need food, who need money, who need to clothe themselves. Not only that, but Mississippi has a water crisis where the water is fucking brown. Mm-hmm. So he not only it's the worst state in America. And this nigga's stealing money from poor people? Mm-hmm. They don't even have clean water to drink, and this motherfucker is stealing money from them. There was just a picture that was posted by Ray Shrimmer and Slim Jimmy and what's the other dude? Slim Jimmy and
Sway Lee.
Sway Lee had a whole truckload full of water. That's a flex. That's a real flex. Not jewelry, nothing. They was on there with a picture of them with a truckload full of water. That's a real flex, Brett Favre. Not stealing from fucking poor people. Mm-hmm. And what really bothers me too is the nepotism, right? The fact that your daughter attended that school and played volleyball, maybe in his mind as a quarterback that made over $100 million in his career, he probably figured like, well, my daughter's only going to be going here for, a couple years. So why would I spend my money, right? Mm-hmm. I could just get money from the poor people. Fuck them. They're lazy anyways. They're stealing the money. You're going to justify it because you don't. Here's the problem that I have with conservatives, right? Is because liberals got their own shit, but conservatives, this is how their brain will think, especially the ones that are crooked. They're going to be like, these motherfuckers don't get a job and they're stealing from the government, but you will turn around and justify stealing from them, which to me is hilarious. Mm-hmm. They misused $77 million that was supposed to go to poor families. That's disgusting, man.
Yeah. That's what America looks like, man. I think, you always get that conversation from the left or from the right, sorry, about how, like you said, these people don't want to work. They don't want to do this. They don't want to do that. They're lazy. They're relying on the government for all these different things. And then you realize that you have situations like this where people are, not coercing, but they're like plotting on stealing money or stealing funds from people that genuinely need it.
An elaborate plan.
But in their mind, they're still better than the people that they're taking from.
Exactly.
So it's just sick. And especially Brett Favre for, he has a a very sketchy history, whether it's like, some sort of
being addicted to painkillers and shit.
Yeah, the addictions, the harassment, the sending the nudes, and all these different things. And Brett Favre is low key Teflon out here, bro.
Yeah,
and it sucks too, being a fan of him. Obviously, growing up watching football and not necessarily being a fan of the Green Bay Packers, but just being a fan of good football. Especially when he was a little bit older and he had, where did he go to was it the Vikings?
Yeah, went to the Vikings, yeah.
Yeah, the Vikings.
And the Jets.
He was kind of trash on the Jets, but when he went to the Vikings, he had like a second run.
He did.
And, he was slinging that football around the field. But, the sad part about these stories is it's not surprising. Mm-mm. Like you hear these stories and you're like, yeah, Brett Favre sold some money. I think it would feel better for me if I was surprised. Like if you sent me this article and I was like, oh dang, Brett Favre stole this money. That's unfortunate, man. I would not expect that out of him. But when you like, oh, that sounds right on par for what Brett Favre does.
Here's the issue though. This is the problem that I have with white collar crimes. With white collar crimes, this would be considered a white collar crime. People who look like me and Keith don't ever even get in positions to commit these things because it takes status to do that. It takes stature to do that. You have to be a politician to do that. And we're talking about $77 million. Me and Keith will never have that position, right? But if you're a person that
don't put me in there.
What happened?
I said, don't put me in there.
What are you talking about?
Like, never be in that position.
No, I'm talking about politicians and people who steal money.
I'm not going to steal no money, but I'm saying in terms of status and relationships and
stuff
like that.
No. I just mean in regards to having the ability to misuse funds and things of that nature. Now, having status in the creative space or something, that's a different thing. They're not stealing anything from there. But these white collar crimes can take place there. A lot of us don't have the ability to ever commit a white collar crime because we don't even have the status or the connections to do that. Brett Favre had both. Brett Favre was a quarterback in the NFL for many, many years. 13, 14 years he played in the league. And now this motherfucker is out of the league, but he has connections because he was a great quarterback and the politician was probably brown-nosing him, and he was able to have a relationship and get $5 million out of him and stole from the welfare, from the worst state in the country.
Yeah.
But the thing about it is people, I don't care if you're liberal, conservative, whatever. If you're wrong, you're wrong. And in this case, there'd probably be some right-leaning people that are like, I mean, what's the big deal? You know, they're stealing money from the government anyways. You might as well make the money go to the right place.
Those lazy bastards aren't working anyways. I might as well build a volleyball court.
Might as well buy a bunch of tater tots and just make a big sandwich out of it.
Yeah, just homemade taters from grandma.
Just grandma used to make it like that.
Grandma used to make them great ass tater tots.
Yeah, back in the day when it wasn't no color bathrooms and all that and stuff.
Yeah.
I'm not racist or nothing, but I just don't need to mix with them. I don't need to mix with the blacks. I ain't racist or nothing like that.
I don't got no hate in my bones, but I just don't like niggas.
You was like, what? Yeah, there's something wrong with certain people, and there's certain parts of the country where this shit is really going on.
Yeah,
and it's no different. And I mean, I don't know how many times Brett Favre got hit in his head. You know, I think they had mentioned that Brett Favre said he had like over 1,000 concussions or something. Aaron Rodgers was like, nah, no, he didn't.
He lying?
Yeah, no, Aaron Rodgers. Yeah, because Aaron Rodgers. I think Brett Favre had mentioned that he had. It was on the Joe Rogan episode, and he said he may have had over 1,000 concussions. And then Aaron Rodgers was like, no, he didn't. Yeah, something's wrong with Brett, man. This is fucked up. He should be in prison. He should be in prison, but the fact that when you have money, we were having this conversation earlier. I was talking to Desmond and Will and all them. When you have money, the judicial system works for you because the biggest issue with America's judicial system is it can be bought. You can buy your way out of prison. If you've got the money and the representation, you can do it. We've seen many guilty people get off. You got money, you will not do one day in jail. We just seen Cardi B get the charges basically dropped, I think, or not even dropped. She got like probation or like community service. That's what she got. And it was over a bottle incident. I think she hit somebody in the head.
Yeah.
But that's the thing. If I assault somebody as Eddie McGee, I'm going to jail. I don't have the money to say, talk to my lawyer. Talk to my lawyer. I don't have that money. So when you got that money, you're good. Even Bill Cosby got released, yo.
Yeah.
Bill Cosby is like, he just has the money for representation, and they found that they wanted to prosecute Bill Cosby so bad that they infringed on
overlook some stuff.
Yeah, they infringed on his what do you call it, his rights, and they had to let him go because they found what do you call it,
like a loophole.
Yeah, they found a loophole, and they felt that it was not like constitutional what they was doing.
Yeah.
All Bill was saying was like frazzle snozzle. They let his fucking ass out.
Yeah.
Now this nigga's out here eating pudding pops again.
They had DDG, the YouTuber. He's a rapper now, but he used to be a YouTuber.
No, I don't know him.
Oh, okay. Well, he's a popular. He was a popular YouTuber. He's a rapper now, but he had like a gun charge, and I guess he got caught riding around LA with a gun, and he never everything got erased because he got good lawyers.
That's crazy. That's crazy how they could do it. You just got to pay them, and they'll say, and it's a bunch of loopholes that exist. If you let's say, for example, I'm worth $50 million, and I'll be like, dude, I have a gun in the car. It's not registered to me. I don't know whose gun this is. The police got me. They're gonna get me on a gun charge. He'll be like, hey, don't you say another fucking word. You understand me? I'm coming up to the prison right now.
Yeah.
I'm coming to the jail right now.
Yeah.
Don't say another fucking word. All of a sudden, lawyer walks in. Do you have a CPKWIWK? And they'll be like, let him out of the cage now.
Yeah. You just walk out of there smiling.
Yeah, but that's what happens when you have representation. They just know all the loopholes. The lawyer will walk into a police department and be like, "Do you have an infringement? WKAZ-7?" And they'll be like, "Well, I don't think you better let him go now. You let him go now, and I won't press civil charges on this whole fucking court." Man, a lawyer, a good one, will put the fear of God in you. You know. But if you ain't got no lawyer, you get a public pretender or a public defender. All a public defender does is basically tell you to take deals. They don't set it up to where it's like you're innocent, you need to fight for yourself. They're never gonna do that. Yeah. They're basically only in court because you can't afford representation, which is like most of society.
This is what I mean. Going back to Brett Favre, I think this is what it looks like. This is what all these allegations against Donald Trump, and some of it was false, but I feel like as much as they searching, it really just boils down to Donald Trump having a good team around him.
Yeah, they can't touch Donald Trump, bro. Yeah. Like honestly, I'll say this, and I think it's hilarious. First of all, they've been trying shit with Donald Trump for years, and they ain't got nothing on him. They got nothing on Donald Trump. And here's the unfortunate thing, and it's just the truth. And I don't care if you're liberal, conservative, this is just the fucking truth. The only way, especially if Donald Trump decides to run again, the only way that the Democrats can beat Donald Trump is if they lock him up. That's the only way. The only way Donald Trump doesn't get elected president is if they lock him up. And they're going to try it. This is like the last ditch effort by the Democrats to arrest Donald Trump. And if it don't work, he'll be reelected.
Nah, the only way that he not gonna get reelected, I personally don't think he's gonna get reelected. Again? But I don't think he would get reelected regardless. But just to entertain the conversation, I think the only way he's gonna not get reelected is if Joe Biden does this thing that he says he's gonna do with the student loans. That's gonna change.
Man, ain't nobody gonna reelect Joe Biden, man.
Bro, if he does if he gets the student loan, bro, the conversations that I'm having with college students that have debt out the wazoo, right? You know what I mean? Hundreds of thousands of dollars, 70, 80 bands in student debt that they've been deferring for years. That's gonna bring a whole new enthusiasm to going to vote for Joe Biden.
There might be some people that go across the aisle.
Yeah.
Dang. You never know. If he can make a promise, if he could say, hey, I've got all this stuff written up right now and it's going to happen, but it can't happen unless I'm reelected. Like he could use this shit against the American people.
Nah, he got to do it before he get reelected because we don't operate like that. We already know he haven't done nothing.
But if he do it before he gets reelected, then we don't got to reelect him because he already did it.
But that's the reason to reelect him. You're like, if he did this in 4 years, what could he do with 8 more years?
Right.
If he's still alive.
You gotta add that in. You gotta put Joe Biden's next term with an asterisk, if not dead. Damn,
that's crazy.
Yeah, Joe Biden, bro. I don't know what's up with that dude, bro. He's getting more and more strange as time goes on. It's nuts.
Yeah,
and when you listen to him, he'll be like, and it's a strange time, especially with the student loans. And everybody's got to figure it out. And everybody knows what's going on. And everybody's got to scream and shout. I just want to put my hands up and shout, I just want to do it. And you'd be like, this guy doesn't know where the fuck he is. Like, I got $500,000 in loans, motherfucker. Make it make sense. Shit.
Yeah.
Mr.
I get Hunter Biden be going crazy on
bruh. Yeah. Hunter Biden right now, somewhere in America, Hunter Biden is somewhere smoking crack.
Getting high.
Yeah, he's getting mad at his dad and smoking crack.
And recording it too.
Yeah, he recording the crack smoking too. This nigga's like, fuck you, dad. Smoking hot rocks. Using our taxpayer money to smoke crack.
That's crazy.
Yeah, man. Yo, Joe, man, tell your son to stop smoking crack, bro.
Yeah, I done paid for like 4 or 5 rehab stints for Hunter Biden.
Yeah, man. That's ridiculous, bro. People in power, you gotta have some control of your kids, man.
Yeah.
This is getting ridiculous. I feel like what's going on now. I seen somebody recently. They was bragging on the fact that they had a booster shot. Mm-hmm. I'm like, yo, that's the most liberal thing I've ever seen. Mm-hmm. You got to be super liberal to still be getting them booster shots.
Yeah, people still getting vaccines is wild.
Yeah, that's wild, bro. You know that shit don't work, man.
Yeah, I thought that was played out. And then was talking yesterday, and Desmond's friend Leslie, she was saying like she got to get one for work.
Yeah, she didn't want to get it. Yeah, that's fucked up.
What? I thought this was over.
Yeah, you can't keep forcing motherfuckers to get that shit, man. And here's a crazy thing though. Here's a crazy thing. People will call you anti-vax, which I'm not anti-vax. I just want to know if that shit said if you get this vax, you will not get COVID. Okay, it's worth taking. Right? It's worth taking at that point. But here's the problem. You want niggas to take a vaccine. Check this out, Keith. You want niggas to take a vaccine that doesn't work, and the companies affiliated with the vaccine have had multiple lawsuits because they gave niggas cancer, right? They gave people cancer and illnesses from other products. And you know these companies are Johnson & Johnson, Pfizer. And these motherfuckers have made people sick, and we supposed to keep trusting y'all?
Yeah.
You've been getting niggas sick for generations.
That's not how trust work.
No.
Yeah.
If I kept slapping you in the face over and over, and I said, hey, trust me, I'm not going to slap you in the face, you'd be like, nigga, I don't trust you. You know? That's all Pfizer and Moderna and all these companies doing. The branding is no different than Nike and Reebok. You know, they just want your money. And the money, I feel, and I'm going to just say it, I think the money that the government lost on them PPP loans, they recouped that shit with the vaccines. They recouped them, man. You see how fast the vaccines came out? That PPP loan money went out. People was out here,
They knew they wasn't getting that money back.
They knew they wasn't getting that money back. They knew it.
Especially how fast they was giving it out.
Man, and what's crazy is how stupid these kids were. In the middle of a pandemic, you out there and you getting Gucci and all these clothes.
Chains.
You getting chains. And we in the middle of a pandemic.
Yeah.
And you ain't even got nobody you could floss out there to. Because people is in the house. It's a pandemic.
Niggas on Instagram Live, stunting.
They turned a pandemic into a bandemic. That's nuts.
I was going to wear this to the club, but they don't got clubs open right now.
Hey, clubs ain't open right now, but we out here getting it, bro. The dumbest thing I see people do, and I've seen them do it on social media, they have a bunch of money in their hand or take a picture of it, whatever, and I'll be thinking like, dude, if that money did not come from a legal place, you're fucked.
Yeah.
Because here's the funny thing. When you post something on social media and you delete it, it never got deleted. You know that, right? Like, either somebody could have screenshotted it or Instagram or Facebook still has the rights to keep that file. So if you get investigated by the police, they could release that you had money.
Yeah, but I don't think Mark Zuckerberg get along with the government.
He doesn't, but you can still get in trouble for it because people like the thing about it, bro. Even with Brett Favre, he has text messages from 2017, and you could delete these messages or whatever. But when AT&T or Verizon, when you're under investigation, they got a transcript like this big of all your messages, all of them.
I feel like that's an invasion of privacy. But what I'm saying is that Mark Zuckerberg is the type of person that'd be like, somebody could be under investigation for fraud or whatever the case may be, or running a freaking ring of prostitutes or whatever the case may be, and they'd be like, "Hey, Mark Zuckerberg, we need those DMs, we need the locations and all that," and he'd be like, "Nah, I'm okay."
Yeah, that's true. He's got the power to say,
because he'd be in them Senate meetings like just like talking over their heads. Actually, the privacy situation that we had, the terms and agreement is actually built to bring people together. The Facebook, the Instagram, the algorithm is only meant to bring people together. And you'd be like,
This nigga brainwashed himself. Mark Zuckerberg, bro, he'll convince you too. See, what we do is in the meta world is actually it's a world that's crafted in order to bring people closer together. And when you interlock these different people and you bring them inside there won't be very many disturbances or privacy issues based on the fact that the algorithm is bringing everyone closer together. And they'll be like, well, we just asked for transcripts. Basically, the algorithm's not going to allow me to give you the transcripts because he'd be like, oh my God.
I'm sorry, Mr. Budenheimer. If you would look at the privacy policies that we put forth, Facebook is just to bring people together.
Oh man, we gotta clip this up and put it on there. I guarantee you, Zuckerberg, we're not gonna get one view on it. He's gonna push back on this shit. Oh man, because it's considered a meta, right?
Yeah.
Instagram.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Oh man, that's hilarious.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Oh, man.
I was listening to his podcast with Joe Rogan, and
I didn't see it. It's recent, like a week or two ago.
Yeah. He be nerding out on there. Joe Rogan be super interested in.
Yeah, Joe Rogan be fucking with him too, though. Mm-hmm. He's like, the way you drink water is just weird, man.
I didn't see that.
He's like, man, like I seen you drink water, man. It just didn't look real. You didn't even drink it, man. You just took a sip and put it down. And he's like, no, you want me to drink water? Is that what you want me to do? He's like, he'd drink it and be like, the privacy policy. Oh, nah. Yo, talking to him, he literally is like, this nigga is like the real life terms and agreements for Facebook. He'll be on a date, like, she'll be like, so what do you do for fun? Yeah, the meta world brings everyone closer together. And, you know, as a conglomerate, if we work and interlock that world and together, the possibilities are endless. I mean, like, what do you do for a hobby? The terms and agreements. You're like, oh my God. He can't even get no pussy, man. He'll be having sex like, oh, the terms and agreements feel so good.
Actually, if it wasn't for Facebook, we would never ever had this opportunity to have sex.
That should be true sometimes. Oh man, that should be really true, man. Some people, I wonder how many people have had sex based off of Facebook. It's probably millions.
Oh man, somebody should be thanking Mark Zuckerberg.
Okay, check this out. Like in the next 40, 50 years, there's gonna be two elderly people talking, and then they're gonna be like, "Grandma, how'd you meet Daddy?" Well, one day back in 2022. Your mom went and she liked my post, and she hearted the post, and I inboxed her. I inboxed her an eggplant emoji.
I'm dead.
And she inboxed me a kissy emoji. We met over there at the Howard Johnson Hotel.
The Howard Johnson.
Went and had a good old time.
That's a wild hotel.
Your grandma sure did have some wet pussy. She sure did.
She used to. It's not as quite as wet anymore.
Yeah, she's not. She's definitely dried up a little bit. But
yeah,
that's your grandmother. She sure didn't know how to twerk back in those days. She wasn't Meg Thee Stallion, but she sure knew how to twerk. That's the kind. Hey, you think about it, yo. We're gonna be the most fucked up generation of people with all the tattoos and the ear stretchings and the BBLs. These girls have no idea how they're gonna look at 70 with a BBL. You gotta eat. You gonna have a BBL from 2022 in your booty at 70 years old?
Yeah,
that motherfucker gonna be slipping down your leg, man.
Yeah, your shape should also start to look a little different the older you get.
Yeah,
you gonna have saggy skin and a fat ass. That ain't gonna look right.
You gonna be 80 years old with 21-year-old titties. That's wild, yo. I think a lot of people don't consider in the moment they want to get these things done, but in the long they don't have the foresight to see what it's gonna do. Mm-hmm. You know, yeah, man. Shout out to y'all. Mm-hmm. Let's go ahead and move forward, man. Switching gears. 50 Cent. 50 Cent is suing a plastic surgeon for putting out some false information about him. 50 Cent sues Med Spa. I didn't get a penis procedure, dickhead. End quote. 50 Cent says innocent photo he took with a surgeon is being used to falsely imply he's a plastic surgery client who had a penis enhancement procedure. And now he's suing. 50 is suing plastic surgeon Angela Kogan and her business, Perfection Plastic Surgery at Med Spa, claiming they took a circulating an old photo of them together, making it look like he needed to go under the knife for penis enhancement. According to the lawsuit obtained by TMZ, 50 Cent says he took a pic with Dr. Kogan back in February 2020. Wow. Because he thought she was a fan. And he says ever since Kogan and her companies have used the photo to pimp their products. Well, that's fucked up. 50 Cent claims it started off with Kogan and her companies using the photo on social media to promote their plastic surgery clinics. But he says things took a disturbing turn in August when the Shade Room did a story with Kogan about the rise of male sexual enhancement procedures and used the pic. The In the Club rapper says the image pops up anytime the article is posted or shared online, and he claims the implication is he underwent a penis enhancement procedure. And there's some people in there. Some people replied in the messages, did he call and book under 50 Cent or Curtis Jackson? Always wonder about things like that. And then the place responded, they just put a laugh button. They didn't even say nothing. Says, I'm nosy, what'd he get? And then they didn't even respond. They just put a kissy face.
Wow.
So they knew what they were doing. That's not okay.
Yeah.
But I will say this. In the future, men gonna have to get male enhancement. Like, they're gonna have to get the surgeries. Because all these girls getting BBLs, like, ain't nobody gonna have enough dick no more to be fucking these girls, man. They got too much ass now.
Yeah. That's facts.
You're gonna have to go to this. You're gonna have to go under the knife and get a couple more inches, man.
Yeah.
That's what's gonna happen, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah, but what I will say, is that's fucked up. It's like that's why a lot of celebrities probably are kind of not too quick to take photos with strangers because they could use your photo as leverage for something they're doing. Mm-hmm. Like imagine you take a picture with Dr. Dre. I've seen people do this shit before, actually. They'll take a picture around someone or with someone, and then they'll put yeah, man, he's a great guy. He's a really cool dude, and he loves my music, man. Check out my new album. And it's like, bro, that nigga ain't even heard your music, and if he did, he probably wouldn't like it.
No, that's facts.
And you're using a picture of him for clout to push your product, and you don't even have them in on it. That's a horrible. That's an integrity problem. I don't blame 50 Cent for suing. 50 Cent's not suing for the fact that he, is doesn't want to be affiliated with the penis surgery. He didn't really get it. So if he didn't get it, then
and they're using his name to promote the business.
Yeah, that's fucked up.
Somebody might be sitting at home like, dang, 50 Cent got that dick surgery. I'm about to go get one too.
Yeah, people gonna be laying down. They be like, so what would you like to? Hey, let me get that 50.
Yeah. Get dick or die trying.
Get dick or die trying. If I can't do it, can't be done. Oh man, that's crazy.
Yeah, nah, I'm there. Sometimes as a non-famous human being,
right.
I like to think about situations. Kind of, to sort of. I guess be prepared for situations. And, these are like important things to note because like you said, some people like to use your likeness and promote their business with that.
That's
not
okay.
Knowing that I get paid, hundreds of thousands, millions of dollars to be on different advertisements and stuff
100%.
like that. We just talked about Matthew Stafford being on the Little Caesars, commercial. So I'm sure he got, probably some M's to be on that commercial.
100%. Yeah. It's also true that even us with our platform that's not massive, I've had some people that have, and I'm not trying to be a dick in any way. I don't think that we're just, this great people. But I'll say this. I've had people say, hey, man, I need to come on a podcast. I need to talk about this business and this and this and that. And I'm just thinking like, bro, that's not how it works.
Yeah.
You can't solicit whatever product you're trying to sell and come on our platform and do that. And we would never try to do that with someone else because it's
twisted.
It's not the way that you do business. Mm-hmm. I think that you have to allow the other person to organically gravitate to whatever you're doing.
Yeah.
So let's say you're doing a podcast and 50 Cent comes out of nowhere like, hey man, you guys are great. I like what you're doing. Right. We'd be like, hey man, we appreciate you. Mm-hmm. Right. And as the conversation went on and we probe him, they'll be like, hey, would you like to come on as a guest? but it has to work that way. It can't work as I take a picture with this person and now I'm using them and I'm plastering them all over my ads to, push out a penis surgery. I don't think you need 50 Cent to push out a penis surgery. I'm being honest. I think that there are a lot of men who are already insecure about the size of their penis. Yeah. I think you got enough men that are insecure about the size of their penis. You don't need 50 Cent on there to do that. That's the thing. If you put this surgery out there and you said, hey, we're doing this, or you could get 2 more inches, or you could get 3 more inches, you could get more girth, whatever. If you put that information out there, that is enough to get men to get the surgery. You know how many married women would be like, hey, babe, you hear about that surgery they got now?
Dang.
I'm sure look, I'm telling you, you know how many, I know some married women out there that went and got BBLs. So if the other thing was available, they'd be like, hey, babe, you should try it. I don't have to cheat anymore if you get it.
Dang. Yeah.
That's fucked up, but it's the reality, man.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, a lot of people don't really do their research.
Right.
A lot of people aren't really familiar with, there's this book called like the 22 Immutable Laws of Marketing, and there's one also on branding, and what you see a lot of times is companies that are just operating from a space of like, oh, this looks cool. Like, oh, what if we have 50 Cent as our our ambassador for our thing, not realizing that there's a whole different avenue you can take that is like probably that looks better and is more effective. Because like you said, actually leaning on what the actual company can do for you in terms of like helping people that are coming up short in a package, I think that's way more effective than having 50 Cent on there. Because it's not even like, it's just a picture that they took together. You know what I mean? It ain't even ridiculous. Like 50 Cent in, whatever, like pose, or how like in Bakersfield we got these the Euphoria company or whatever.
Oh man, they're all over the place.
Yeah, but you have like the tattoo removals and the booty and stuff like that. But they look like advertisements.
Right.
If you just take a picture with 50 Cent, like, that don't look like he's like, it doesn't necessarily mean he's like using your company.
But it implies he's a happy customer.
Yeah, exactly.
That's where our brain goes. So we're like, oh, 50 Cent got the dick surgery. Oh shit, I should get it.
Yeah, exactly.
And I'll say this. We talk about, there is a pandemic of women getting BBLs. It is like a real epidemic of women getting BBLs, and they're getting bad ones where they don't even look good, right? But there's also a lot of men getting hair transplants, record numbers. There's also men that are, I guarantee you, that are going to be getting. First, the thing is that like women will get a BBL and you could see it, right? But women can't see how big our penises are. So we have an advantage in the fact that there's going to be a lot of men getting these penis procedures, and women even aren't going to know it. They're just going to like pull some dude's pants down, and he's going to have a fucking huge hog. And they're just going to think it's his, But I don't know. Who knows what the surgery does? Maybe it might make it crooked. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't even know what that looks like.
Yeah, this is like women will probably find a way to find out. Like if this much of it is hard and then the rest of it's just hanging down. Yeah. They'd be like, oh, that's a DBL. I know
that's a DB.
I know what that is.
That's funny.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, we got to do better, man. It's just like... using 50 Cent to sell your penis enlargements is not cool. And, rightfully so. I hope he gets some M's out of this lawsuit, and not teach people a lesson to stop doing this nonsense.
Yeah, don't do this. And this
sorry to cut you off, but like you said, we know people, and we just talked about it before the podcast, that was kind of using people's likeness in the same way to sell, not necessarily sell, but act like they're more famous or act like they're hanging around famous people. Pulling up to, rappers and, guys like YG and being like, yo, what's good, YG? And then YG just walking by getting a hamburger from the local burger spot.
Yeah, he's just not interested in anything you're doing. Like, I think the thing about it, man, is that if your vibe and your energy as a person is not interesting enough to someone and they're not gravitating to you, then move on. Right? With 50 Cent, you need to ask him for permission. And not only ask him for permission, if you're a business owner, you need to get it in writing. and say, hey, 50 Cent, I have a thing. I just want to get it in writing that we can use your likeness to promote this penis enhancement. And if you don't, then you can be sued for that.
You know, I will say, admittedly, I don't think we did that intentionally. That wasn't my goal. But people kind of felt a similar way. So just to put it on the table, when we had the podcast after DJ show with TK Kirkland, we just took a picture of him and we talked about the show, but we didn't necessarily like. I don't think, at least from my perspective, it wasn't like, hey, TK Kirkland was on our podcast.
Yeah. Somebody, the people that like they implied or
they thought that, but I think that's more ignorance on their part because we didn't say like it didn't say featuring TK Kirkland or it didn't, you know, I think the podcast name was like Who Raised You, so it wasn't even like, you know, that wasn't the our intention at all. But
I mean, but I think it's okay to use it as a thumbnail. I don't think that's a problem. Yeah, if you use it as a thumbnail. And first of all, we don't make cheap content. We've been doing this a long time. And it's not even in our personalities to like use clickbait to get you to listen. Yeah. You know, sometimes we pick not very flattering pictures as our, you know, thumbnail. But we chose to pick a picture that we actually experienced a stand-up comedian giving like a fucking hour of content. And he said, hey, I'm giving free pictures. I'm like, hey, well, he's giving free pictures. Let's just use this as a thumbnail. Keith was like, I'm on board. So yeah, but I don't know. I think we would do it again. Let's say I seen Kid Cudi and we had an interaction that probably lasted 10 minutes, and we talked or laughed or we noticed something, and I'll be like, hey man, you know, I don't want to bother you. It's okay if me and my co-host get a photo. Be like, for sure, man, let's do it. And we take a picture. We can talk about that interaction. It's a part of the show. We create content. Yeah. Right. Yeah. So yeah.
Yeah, man. Ain't no reason to be ashamed of, like, unless you intentionally trying to do that stuff. That's weird. But,
yeah, that's weird.
You know, if it's just like, or like you said, organic, or you know, we really had these interactions, and that should be cool.
Yeah, and not only that, if you ask in a respectful way and you don't force it on people, because you got to understand, if you're dealing with anybody that does take pictures, or you know, if you're dealing with anybody that has a massive platform, it's not the first fucking time they got a picture. For the most part, if they're vibing, you be like, hey man, I respect your time. Do you have any time to take a photo? Yeah. And he's like, I gotta go. I'll be like, hey man, God bless you. You have a good day.
But you know what I realized, and kind of going back to that point where we seen the people like, yo, I'm hanging out. We literally seen a guy like walk by August Alsina at the BET Awards.
Oh my God.
Like, yo, August Alsina, my guy was good. And they put in the caption like, yo,
he was a cool dude or whatever.
Yeah, August Alsina is cool. Like, you know what I'm saying? What's up, bro? Or whatever the case may be. All that is fine, but like talent is going to get you in real spaces.
100%. Yeah. When you pull out your phone as a man and start recording another man, that's also a fucking problem. Like, what the fuck are you doing? Grown man doing that. Don't do that.
I would say I have got videos like that, but not in a way where I'm acting like it's something that it's not.
Exactly. Yeah. I'm talking about, well, they'll have it like in selfie mode. Oh, I got you. And they'll be like, yo, my guy right here, bro, he a real one.
Exactly.
It's like, dude, shut the fuck up, man. You don't have any relationship with this guy. Stop doing this.
New heat coming soon.
Like, stop. Just don't do that. That's not okay. Yeah, we see that a lot on social media. For any of those that might catch it, you caught it. Okay. All right, stop doing it.
Yeah.
Stop doing it. All right, switching gears. Very unfortunate news. Rapper PNB Rock. Recently, PNB Rock was gunned down in Los Angeles at a Roscoe's Chicken and Waffles, and I have the story right here. PNB Rock dead at 30 after shooting at Roscoe's. Rapper PNB Rock has died after he was shot while eating at Roscoe's Chicken and Waffles with his girlfriend, the Selfish rapper, with the song "I'm Selfish."
They probably should have used like a different song,
but they put it in quote. But they did the same thing with the In the Club rapper 50 Cent. I guess for people that don't know who 50 Cent is.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, like, when you read it, the Selfish rapper, it just sounds like they're calling him.
Call him selfish. Yeah, but this is TMZ though. They're not there. There's a bunch of people with mental illness working there. All right. A rapper was pronounced dead at, I love that song, by the way, was dead at L.A. area hospital Monday, where he was rushed just minutes after the shooting. TMZ broke the story. PNB Rock was shot Monday afternoon, while dining with his girlfriend and mother of his child, IG model Steph Sibornahong, I assume she's Asian, at Roscoe's Chicken and Waffles restaurant. A source connected to the restaurant tells us the shooter appeared to have targeted PNB in a robbery. He posted video of himself wearing expensive jewelry earlier in the day. The suspect is still on the loose. We're told there's surveillance video that may help the police identify him. PNB moved to L.A. from Philadelphia after signing a record deal with Atlantic Records following his 2014 debut mixtape. His stage name refers to a street corner in the Philly neighborhood where he grew up, Pastoris and Bainton, whatever. I guess that's just the street. Over the years, PNB Rock has collaborated artists Ed Sheeran, Chance the Rapper, Wiz Khalifa, 2 Chainz, Kodak Black, Young Thug, and Boogie with a Hoodie. Yeah, this is a very unfortunate thing, but there's a lot to unpack here. One of the things that had happened is his girlfriend was getting a lot of blame, and she was getting some blame based on the fact that she had posted a picture of them at no, she didn't post a picture of them. She posted a picture of Roscoe's Chicken and Waffles, and there was a geotag connected to it. And people are like, yo, she got him killed. She should have not posted that, blah, blah, blah. I don't know if that's what got him killed. I think that probably what got him killed, one, is the area, first of all, and the fact that people can't find a job besides being a fucking criminal. That's one of them. Another one is, I think as people, especially as partners of one another, you need to have better social awareness. If a woman is dating a rapper, right, she needs to do a better job of protecting that man. And the reason why I say that is this, and I'm not saying that's what she did, but you got to understand, you have to move like a valuable person. So you can't just be in the middle of a poverty-stricken area that has a lot of crime and you're posting, and they know that you're his girlfriend and you're posting Roscoe's Chicken and Waffles with a geotag. You have low social awareness. And this isn't the first time she had to be told, like, hey, hey, this is not safe here, or whatever the case. Still can't blame her for this, but I will say you need to have better awareness, not only for yourself, but for your partner. And on his end, and I'm not trying to blame him for his own death, you have to have more awareness than to be in a poverty-stricken area with a lot of gang violence with all of your jury on. It's just not a smart move. It's just not smart. I said the same thing about Young Dolph. Even Young Dolph just being in his area getting cookies. You can't move like this anymore, man. The moment you became successful, you became a villain. You became a marked man. Because people are jealous. They're poor. And you're literally right next to them you got more money around your neck and on your fingers than they have made in their whole life.
Yeah.
And you're food to them. And it's fucked up, but you're food to them, man. And you can't be around these people. You just can't. Nipsey proved it. Nipsey was trying to better his area. He had a whole little shopping center there. They shot him right in front of it. Young Dolph went to a local place to get cookies. Shot him right in front of the cookie place. It goes on and on. PNB Rock shot in Roscoe's Chicken Waffles. It's just a common theme. XXX Tentacion. He was going to get jewelry. I think he was going to get.
I think he's at a car lot.
He's at a car lot or something. He got followed and got shot. Like, you have to understand, you have to have more social awareness. People are evil. They look at you as they come up. I think that what you need to do is you have to use your money as a wedge between you and evil. You have to be in a space where no one knows what the fuck you're doing. You cannot be dating these IG models that are so wide-eyed and googly-eyed over everything, and they want to show you their lifestyle and who they're dating and what they're doing. You need a regular woman, man. I know it's hard to have that when you got money, but even if you got it, you got to set the boundary. Hey, I don't want you posting this shit. When you're with me, we're not. You could post it later. You could take pictures there, but you better post it when we leave at least. You have to, like, I don't know what women need to hear this, but we need to be protected too. And I'm not just saying protected, emotionally, but like protected from harm. Ladies, if you see somebody that could be of danger to your boyfriend, grab him by his arm and say, hey, baby, we need to get out of here.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Don't have him right in the middle of the motherfucking danger and you're doing things to make it worse. And and I hate to say this, and it's so soon afterwards, but I just have to be transparent. And we just as people, we have to do a better job with recognizing how we could minimize or mitigate the risk of being robbed or shot or put in a tough situation.
Mm-hmm. No, I mean, everything you said was facts, man. I think the thing that I lean on when I'm thinking about this situation is how exhausting it is to be like a part of this culture.
Oh my God!
The gang culture, the criminal culture, and
right.
The value. I think Kendrick Lamar had a line where he's like, "How much does $1 really cost?"
Right.
And it's like this idea that that the chain or whatever he was wearing or the jewelry, and I don't know all the details as far as like what he was wearing or what he had on or what what type of money he had, but that whatever that was in terms of the people that shot him and killed him was more valuable than his life.
Yeah, it's crazy.
More valuable than him being a boyfriend, more valuable than him being a father, all these different things. And I'm sure like, a provider for people around him in terms of his manager and maybe some producers that he might have put on
right.
and all these different things. It's just so sad, man.
Yeah.
And I understand all the conversation around, being in the right place and, why was he there? Why didn't he have security?
Right.
All these different things. But I just, that is a conversation. But my conversation is like, I don't even want that conversation intertwined with this because it almost absolves like the people that did the wrong.
Oh, no. Yeah, right.
You know what I mean? Like, it's just like we just live in a way where it just seems like instead of a person, going to get it in a honest way,
right.
It's like, oh, it's just easy to come up on this. And it's like, it's a thing. Like Kendrick Lamar talks about it in one of his songs. I think he was talking about the BET Awards, how like, some of his homies is looking at the artists that's coming down from Atlanta and Florida and New York. They looking at them as like licks, like, oh, these niggas it's All-Star Weekend or it's BET Awards or it's whatever weekend. It's time to come up on a lot of these rappers. Like, it's so many videos where gang members is stopping cars in the middle of the street and all these different things and pressing rappers and all these things, or chains getting passed around the industry and they making YouTube videos about it. It's like, I'm just so sick of this culture, man.
Yeah.
It's just so exhausting. And I keep going back to Kendrick Lamar, but he has that freestyle, the Heart Part 5, and he's talking about culture, like what we call culture is really just like trauma.
It's trauma, yeah.
And pain that we unattended to. Yeah. And we passing that off as like culture.
I think what's fucked up too is when you are from these underserved areas where, and it's been proven, anywhere there is, an underserved community that doesn't have access to things, there will be crime. This is in any place.
Yeah.
And what happens is when a child is growing up in that element, they don't have the foresight to see, I could be a doctor, I could be a lawyer, I could be this, I could be that. But they grow up in these gang-infested communities, and as time goes on, they normalize all this shit that's actually trauma. It's dysfunction and trauma, and they appropriate it. And when they see a P&B Rock at Roscoe's Chicken and Waffles, they're like, man, I know damn well he ain't there with no security too. We got to come up. And they will kill you. They will rob you in front of people, in front of kids. It doesn't matter to them. And guess what they'll do? They'll go tell you a story about it.
My cousin was...
That's crazy.
My cousin was... I'm not going to tell that story. I'll tell you later.
If you've ever sat there and listened to people that are like old gang members or whatever the case, they got a lot of stories to tell about the fights they got in or who they was shooting at or when they was selling drugs or when they was running the streets. And you got to understand, they'll have those stories, and they may not be 100% proud of them as they get older, but while they're in the midst of doing it, it's a different story. They was like, yo, you should have seen him, man. He was scared, man. We did this and that. And this is why I say the gangs are not for grown men. They are for misguided youths. They are not meant for grown adults to run around. So that's kind of the problem I have with some of the people that still be repping the gang. Like, I got nothing against YG as a man. The only thing I got against YG is we just flamed up with all the red on. Like, bro, you're a millionaire. You're a successful artist. And the fact that you have so much reach and it's reaching out to people, but it's reaching out and it's still highlighting negative shit. Whether it's Snoop Dogg, I got love for Snoop Dogg, but the Crippin' shit, man, you're a grown man. And this is the part of the culture that I hate so much, and that if I was to say this out loud, it would be people mad at me.
It was Quando Rondo. He was I was telling you about it a while ago, where he basically was like, I don't want to be no Rolling 60s no more. Like, I'm just a regular guy out here. I'm kind of done with the game banging and stuff like that. And Jay Stone was like, no, you can't. You got to get put off. Like, you got to come catch your fade and all this internet, like, you know, in a disrespectful way. Like, you're an internet game banger anyways, all these different things. And that's like, it's so crazy. Like, and I don't think he did. I don't know why he said that. I don't know why Quando Rondo said that. But to think that maybe if his intentions were to, like, better his life. Like, I don't want to be a part of this gang anymore. I just want to live a regular life, which is not even really an option. Once you in it, like, there's really blood in, blood out.
Yeah.
But especially when you were part of, like, killing, you know, you were in the vicinity of, you know, when King Von got killed. You know, to the average person, I would think they'd be like, oh, like, that's, like, good for him. He's putting down his flag. He's not gangbanging anymore. But then you have, like, this toxic behavior in terms of like gang members, where it's like, no, that's not how it works.
And
like,
Jay Stone, you're the same one that lost your best friend Nipsey right in front of his own store. And by the way, why do you have allegiance to a gang where a gang member in the same gang killed Nipsey? So another Rolling 60s Crip killed Nipsey. This is not a fraternity. It's a bunch of niggas that got jealous. And y'all could all be Rolling 60s Crips, cool. But when one of y'all successful, it's gonna be 30 of them that's hating. And now you got to go back to the same place where you're trying to better it, but they think like, man, he over here trying to show us up. Look at him. He think he's somebody, and that's what happens. And the thing is the same like attitude that Jay Stone had when he said, "Oh, you got to go get put off. You can't just be out the gang." That's the same pride Nipsey had when he thought he could stand out in front of his store. It's the same pride that he had. And people, if I was to say that's the same pride that got him killed, they would say, oh, man, you can't say shit like that. I can't say things like that, but I kind of can. Because when you think that you could be that successful and be there. Do you see Jay-Z in the middle of the Marcy Projects? No, you don't. There's a reason why you don't see Jay-Z in the middle of Marcy Projects. Because he knows who he is. I was listening to Brilliant Idiots, and Charlemagne said something that said to him. And he said, you got to move like you important. You got to move like you important. You cannot be around, and it's fucked up to say this, but you cannot be around the same people you grew up with when you grew up doing the wrong stuff.
Yeah, Jay-Z had a line, and it was around the time he was beefing with like Jim Jones and Dipset and stuff like that. He was like, I don't be in the projects all day talking about how I be in I'm be in the project hallways talking about how I be in the projects all day. That sounds stupid to me. If you're a gangster, this is how you prove it to me. And it just kind of pointed to that idea of like, you know, even back, you know, this was years ago, maybe like 2010s or something like that. But he understood like I'm too, like you said, I'm too important to be in the hood like that, you know. And it's like and even hearing like some of the people that are familiar with LA, or they got relationships with people in LA, and they like, yo, like, why would he go to that Roscoe's? And I'm from LA, I don't even go over there.
That's just not no.
It's just like it's food.
It's food,
and it just
I
sucks
should be able to
that
sit down and eat without getting shot. It speaks volumes of this area, though. It speaks volumes of the area where you guys are doing so bad that you literally sitting outside of a Roscoe's Chicken and Waffles waiting for a fucking celebrity to show up. So it's terrible. But multiple things are true, though, Keith. Multiple things are true. It's fucked up that they're saying, why would you go eat at that place? They from LA, but they know how sick the culture is. So that's what makes them have a valid point. But the fucked up thing that makes them invalid is the fact that it's almost like it sounds like you're absolving the people that do this shit. Where in turn, it's like okay to recognize how bad they are, but it's fucked up when you can't even go have chicken and waffles. You know, and yeah, I feel for PNB, man. And I think if he was to do it all over again, he wouldn't even be sitting in that place. He wouldn't be sitting there. And I don't think that she would be taking pictures of her phone to the Roscoe's, even though it was innocent. It's innocent to take pictures of waffles. It's innocent to tag.
The whole situation was innocent. I'm going to get food. The food, chicken and waffles from Roscoe's is fire.
But here's the problem with innocence, though, and I think we know this. The unfortunate thing about innocence is it will get you crushed.
Yeah.
It's just like an innocent
You
child.
gotta be aware out here.
It's an innocent child, and I hate to say this, and I know this is going to sound bad. We definitely not clipping this up, but if you're an innocent child and you're going down the street, somewhere in America, there's a pedophile watching that kid. Mm-hmm. An innocent child, and there's a pedophile watching them. The same way that if you are a rich millionaire and you go to eat chicken and waffles and mind your business, there's a motherfucker that has killed 30 people, and he is watching you. You have to be aware. The best way, and I say this is for everybody, the best way to move is with love in your heart, but recognizing the evils. Mm-hmm. When you can recognize the evils, you tend to move a little bit different.
Yeah.
Right? Like I was talking to Keith earlier about visiting LA. If there's, a place we want to go, if there's a concert, you need to know where you are based on the fact that if you got the wrong hat on, you fucked. If I was to wear a Seattle Mariners hat in LA, that's the wrong hat. Mm-hmm. They gonna think you from the Rolling 60s because that's a Rolling 60s hat. Mm-hmm. If you wear another hat, they be like, oh no, you can't wear that hat. And it's like, you've totally changed what these logos mean.
Yeah. And you don't even watch baseball.
Here's the scary. You want to know the saddest thing and the most, and I just got to keep it a buck. You know the most pitiful thing about gangbanging? Yes, I said pitiful. Bloods, Crips, pitiful. You know the most pitiful thing about gangbanging is they are fighting and killing each other over shit that's borrowed. You can't wear that hat. Nigga, you don't own the Seattle Mariners. Mm-hmm. But I can't wear this hat in your hood. Oh, I can't go to your hood. You mean the same hood that you own no equity in? You don't own one house. You don't own no property, but you're willing to die over a street corner? Gangbanging is dumb. And I said this shit before. It is dumb, and you are dying over land and property that is rented to your ass. Mm-hmm. You willing to die over the same streets that the government can literally come in and say, "Hey, all y'all got to move out." You ain't shooting them. Mm-hmm. You're not a part of no community planning meetings. So they could just pop up and say, "Hey, gang members, y'all got to get off that corner. We're about to gentrify you so bad that you got to move this gangbanging somewhere else because you can't even do it here because you ain't got enough money to be here no more." Mm-hmm. But yet, like gangbanging is supposed to be glorified. Mm-hmm. Even a gang member will tell you to not join a gang. Mm-hmm. I've never heard Snoop said that, hey, you should be a Crip. Snoop is just a Crip. That's one thing I will say. I'm not a fan of gangbanging at all. Snoop is a Crip, but he ain't never told nobody they need to be a Crip. Mm-hmm. But he's still gonna throw his signs up and shit because that's all he knew. Mm-hmm. But I'm not gonna absolve him of that because I still think that's stupid. Mm-hmm. But there's that.
But we say all that to say that I don't even know if these is like gangbangers. Like that's not necessarily the information that has come out yet. But yeah, it's just a sad situation. Rest in peace to PNB Rock. Yeah. Prayers and condolences to his child, man, to his girlfriend that has to live with that trauma. I don't know personally, but I have, I'm close to people that have been in those type of traumatic situations and keeping you up at night, cold sweats, anxiety, all these different things is real. So hopefully, she could find some peace. Hopefully, maybe a Lauren London or, Vanessa Bryant or somebody can, lend her some advice or listening or something. I don't know. Something. Hopefully she finds some.
I would say as men, we got to put our pride to the side. It's not about being scared. It's about being smart and treating yourself with value. When you value yourself as a man, and your maturity and your value as a man will only allow you to be in so many places. Mm-hmm. So you need to make sure that you craft a world and a space, a safe space where you could take your lady, where you could take your kids, where you could take whoever you need to take with you. So when you go out, everybody's safe. Yeah. I heard Steven Jackson mention, like, this is why I check in, man. When I go to any town, I do this, I check in. That's fucking ignorant. Mm-hmm. I hate that message. That's one thing I hate about the culture is normalizing trauma. You should never have to check in because you go into the ghetto. First of all, why are you going to the ghetto if you're rich? To where you got to, and here's the thing. You checking in with who? A gang member? Who are you checking in with? And then you checking in with niggas that don't own nothing where you doing it. What are you doing? It's dumb. The idea of checking in is so dumb. And it's like we've appropriated this language in the culture that makes absolutely no fucking sense. I'm not checking in nowhere. I go as I please, where I want to go, and chances are 9 times out of 10 or 10 times out of 10, I'm not going to nobody's hood by choice. There's nothing for me in the hood but poverty. There's nothing there for me. I have no reason to go there. There's no reason. So I just don't understand how when you reach the apex of success, you need to go down to the hood to get waffles. I have family that's in LA, right? They live in the trenches, right? But I ain't going to visit them down there. You can come out here, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And it's crazy, you be chilling with your fam out there, you hearing gunshots, pop, 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 pop. Like this motherfucker done went through. He must have an AK. It's nuts, man. But my thoughts and condolences go out. It may at times when you're doing podcasting, it may make you sound like you're a little bit insensitive in ways, but it's not that. It's the fact that you have to. It's a very nuanced topic, and you have to cover everything. You can't always talk about the things that sound sexy, right? It's sometimes you got to have conversations that aren't very popular, right? But switching gears. Making someone happy isn't real. The reason why I thought about this is because I hear, especially in culture in general, people like, I want to be with someone that makes me happy, and I want to be happy. People don't understand that happiness is not a permanent. It's not a permanent state. Happiness comes and goes, but what exists in the middle of happiness is important. There's sadness. And there's happiness, but in the middle there's a neutral, very welcoming, good feeling, right? Where it's like your happiness comes from other things besides moments. Like you could take your wife out to this extravagant dinner and she'll be happy, but the next day she'll be bitching at you again, right? Whereas if you could take her out and she's happy, and the next day, instead of her being bitching at you about something, she could also choose happiness by stating, I really love how he protects me. I really love how he takes care of bills. I really love how he keeps the house up around here. If you continue to choose happiness through not just these specific outings or specific things that are being done to you to make you happy. Like I gave an analogy earlier to Keith. Happiness should not be parallel to like me putting a quarter in a arcade machine, right? And then as soon as your happiness runs out, I got to put another fucking quarter in it. Happiness should also come at the fact that I exist and that I'm a decent person. So you can never make anyone happy. The idea of doing that is just, it's too complex.
Yeah, I think that it's also like creating this idea that your happiness is like external is like very disempowering.
It is, man.
Like, and this is not even in terms of like romantic relationships. This is just in general. Like this can be like a friendship or something like that. Some people have relationships with their friends where it's like, if my friend doesn't do X, Y, and Z, then they don't make me happy, and I need to find new friends.
Right.
Yeah. But I don't know. I the thing that I would primarily speak from is just myself. Like I have created a life for myself where I don't need anything to like create happiness for myself, right?
There you go.
I've built a life for myself that it doesn't require much. Like I could be, sometimes I just ride around, especially in Bakersfield, and I'm just like, thank God I got some AC. You know what I mean?
Oh my God, thank you.
Like just the small things in life. Like, I sometimes like I gotta watch my niece, and there used to be moments where I'd be like, oh my God, like it just is just so frustrating. I would rather be writing or making music or something like that. But the last time I went to go to watch her, I was just like, just so present, you know what I mean? Was hanging out, and she was just, you know, talking as much as she talked so much. But, you know, I was just very present. But I say all that to say, like, it is up to me to choose to be happy in these situations.
Yes, sir.
Because my niece is 6 years old, and she is like the prototypical 6-year-old, very curious and talks a lot and has these ideas and stories and wants to know about everything, and, you know, is intrigued by grown-ups and all these different things. And there's a version of it where I could just be like, oh my God, I'm so over this. Like, these kids, oh, they're just so annoying. Or there's a version of it where I could be like, man, this is my niece, and she really is in a pivotal moment in her life where she's developing, and her brain is, you know, developing, and she's learning about the world, and she's trying to navigate, you know, the world as a 6-year-old, and relationships and all these different things. And I could be like very present for her.
100%.
But it's a Will Smith had said something in I think it was one of his interview with Elliot Wilson, I believe, and he was like, you know, he was talking about his relationship with Jada Pinkett Smith, and he basically said that they had separated for a little bit, and he was like, I can't make you happy. I tried all these things. I've tried to put on these big extravagant birthday parties and all this, and none of it is working. I can't make you happy. Like, you got to go and find. And I don't want you to bring up August Alsina, but you gotta go and find how, you know, you can make yourself happy. And at the moment, I didn't really get that. I didn't really understand that concept.
She was happy.
But the more that I you know, lived life, I was like, oh, I completely understand what he's saying. Because as individuals, like you were saying, that feeling is fleeting.
Yes.
If you buy your if your girl's happiness is inside of a bouquet of flowers, and maybe you get busy one week and you can't, you know, bring that flowers for her every Monday like you normally do, and she's like, oh my gosh, you're just so useless. Why am I even dating you? Then it's like, you know, like, that's just not, that thing is not, that's like this is just a temporary high. It's just a fix to fix an issue that you can't find. And then another thing, Omarion has a book called Unbothered, and he had an interview on The Breakfast Club this week, and he said something like pretty cool. And Omarion is in a space where obviously we know him from B2K and you know, his solo career, Icebox and all that, but he's in a very zen space now, and it was just interesting. And I used to think that it was a little bit inauthentic, like when I would see his interviews, like, man, he's like very zen, but it was like that just seems like a front. But when you hear him talk, you start to get a sense of like, oh, he's done a lot of work on himself to find peace.
Probably be a good episode.
And true happiness, right? So one of the things that he said, and especially if you know Omarion's history, you got Lil Fizz dating his baby moms, and the group breaking up, and all these allegations and stuff like that, and he's still sane, you know what I mean? Which is a big thing, especially being a child star. So one of the things that he said is like, I choose happiness every day. And I'm like, yo, that's so powerful. But you gotta be able to wrap your mind around that. You gotta be able to wake up and be like, I choose not to be bothered by what's going on at work. I choose not to be bothered by my brother that I have a huge disdain for, that's always asking me to do X, Y, and Z. You know what I mean?
I just cracked the code. I don't say I cracked the code, but I think we mix up happiness as like this instantaneous feeling of glee when it's actually gratitude.
Yeah. Oh, that's powerful.
Right. So that's what it is. Like when you have gratitude, you have everything. For example,
that's sorry to cut you. That's like a subtopic of choosing.
There you go.
Yeah, I got you. Yeah.
Exactly. It's like you're going to LA, and let's say you got like a 1995 Honda that's kind of beat up, and then you're like, thank God I got AC. That is how you choose happiness.
Man, I just seen I don't want you to forget your point. But me and my guys getting married, so we were practicing this dance for his wedding, and then we were practicing in one of the guys, the groomsmen's backyard, and I seen the Mustang that I had, the Fox body Mustang that I had, and it's like his is like beat up and it needs a lot of work, but I was like, oh, this is so dope. I used to have one of those back in the day. But you just like that, it's just that point of view or that perspective, man. And that's so powerful.
Right. It's like, it's almost like you're taking that point of view and choosing to view it from a certain vantage point. Like you're not like, oh, I had that car, it was beat up, it was this and that. Like I actually like that car a lot, and it doesn't have to be a new car for me to appreciate it. So I think that's our thing, man. I think that as a culture, we get it mixed up. We when we think of happiness, we think of these almost like instant gratification, right? But that's not what happiness is. It's not only a choice. Happiness is not only a choice, but it's gratitude.
Yeah.
And until we really understand that, that's like the mature part of happiness.
And you have to like articulate it.
100%.
Like,
yes.
I was saying with, talking about my niece, like I there's a way where I could be like, hey, I'm so excited to hang out with you, or like, thank you for hanging out with me, all these different things.
Right.
Or I can be like, here she go. You know what I mean?
Here's another one. I'll give you one right here. Man, I'm tired. Oh, man, I don't feel like going to the gym. Here's how you flip it. I have the privilege of going to the gym.
Yeah.
Both of my legs work. Both my arms work. There's somebody who's paralyzed that wishes they could walk. Let me go to the gym. That is gratitude. And that is happiness, because you're choosing happiness. And you may be tired. You may be whatever. Be like, man, thank God I needed that workout big time. I ate really bad for the past 2 days. It's a choice. It's a constant choice.
Yeah. There's this sutra. There's these thing called the Yoga Sutras.
Kama Sutra?
No, it is kind of like that, but I forget what the word sutra means. But basically, it's like it's like a philosophy. I'm just gonna ignore this nigga. It's like a philosophy. It's like the Bible for yoga, and it has like a bunch of like almost like these scriptures, but they're called sutras. And one of them, I wish I knew the exact one, but in one of them, it basically says that like your life is like all about perspective, and it gives an example of how like if you look off in the distance and you're like, oh my gosh, that's a snake, and then you walk up on it closer and you're like, oh, it's actually just a water hose, right? So it's but that same feeling you have is like, oh my God, the same excitement or the fear or whatever happens is in you, but once you get up on it, you realize it's a snake. So it basically says like it's just perspective.
You mean a water hose?
Yeah, water hose. So, and it also gave an example of like prisoners, right? So it's like these inmates and
Felice Johnson.
Yeah, the Felice Johnsonses and the correctional officers are both in prison.
Basically, yes.
But the only difference is the context or their point of view. Like the one is like clocking in, like I'm only here to get a check, and the other person is like, I'm in here because I've been like I like man butt. So it's just that point of view. So. If we take that small example and apply it to everywhere in life, you realize like, oh, literally my life is about the point of view.
Yes.
So, and it's about choosing happiness. It's about not looking at things from a negative or disempowering context. It's about, just thinking about, in terms of my small example that I gave, just being excited to hang out with my niece versus like, being like, oh my God, like I got to hang out with this person again. So, yeah.
And by the way, folks, it's not fake either. It's not one of those things like, Eddie and Keith just make it sound good, but it's just like this mumbo jumbo language. No, it's not. It's not fake at all. When you find a way to change the language, your internal language, when you start changing it, it tells you a lot about yourself too and how you've been viewing things for a long time.
For sure.
You know what I mean? And you're kind of like, it's almost like you start to reverse engineer all the things that you felt.
I'll tell you this, like I have had this this huge like disdain towards like the situation in which we grew up, right? Having a small apartment and all these different things, right? My mom still lives there. But over this weekend it was packed in there. We didn't even really have places to sit. Niggas are sitting, in all kind of different type of seats. But I was just like, so this is so dope.
It's so much love, man.
It's so dope. You know what
man.
I mean? And obviously it's not a lot of room in there, but it didn't feel in any way, shape, or form like embarrassing.
No.
Or whatever. It was just like you said, just straight love. So
not at all, man.
Yeah.
I loved it, man. That moment, like just moments like that, it's like a Kodak moment. Like it just sticks out. It was just for me, and especially in my situation. Now tomorrow it'll be officially a month since my dad has been gone, and after he had passed, I just had so many people that I already known in my life, but how much more they checked on me and that they were there for me and things of that nature. So I was able to experience like happiness on a different level, because after you lose somebody like your dad, you could go into a state of depression and sadness and things of that nature. But like, I was already been doing the work on myself, which I think that kind of helped me. But just also recognizing how many people who genuinely made me happy just by being there, like just by existing and being there for me as they had already been there, had made me happy. I didn't need to be like, oh, y'all ain't coming over, y'all ain't calling, y'all ain't doing this and that. These people that were in my life, just like I'm so blessed to have Keith in my life. I'm so blessed to have his mother in my life. I'm so blessed to have Desmond. I'm so blessed to have all these people in my life. And that genuinely made me happy. And it still made me happy, makes me happy to this day. Last night, it was just like a hilarious moment where, his aunts came over and one of them was tipsy and was telling all these stories, and Desmond was going off and I was cracking jokes, and Keith's girlfriend's chiming in here and there. Like it was so dope, man. It was just such a cool experience.
I was talking to my girl about this idea where like there was a couple times where we went out to eat with my guy that's getting married, and we were like, I know me personally, I was tired like after we had wrapped up, but like the conversation kind of just kept going, and there was a couple times, how you try to get off the phone like, all right, bro, like I'm a holla at you, man, and then they just kind of like, oh dang, what about such and such? I ain't seen him in a long time. Like, how's he doing? And then the conversation just keep going. What I realized in those moments, and even like last night, is like I can be tired, but I realized that me being a little bit tired versus like when you look back 10 years from now, and was the sleep worth more than this, this Kodak moment, as you described it. It's like, no, being a little bit tired, and I'm a little bit tired right now, but being a little bit tired versus like actually having those like genuine moments, those genuine memories with your family and stuff like that. That's way more.
I'm not gonna lie, I was just like savoring the moment. Like at like a while, like we were having conversations and talking, and Desmond's got us on the floor laughing, right? And I'm chiming in saying stuff, people are laughing. And it's one of those moments where it's like, you just know this is special. This is just a special moment. Yeah. And, once everybody packed it in, everybody went to sleep and stuff like that, it just felt so good, man. I slept real good at night knowing how much love I have in my life. Yeah. And it's like, if you tell people things like this, they'd be like, man, I need to make more money, man, or whatever it is. They'll harp on the negative stuff, and it's like, nigga, do you not see how many people love you, bro?
And I'm speaking from that perspective. Like, I texted rest in peace to my Uncle Jamel. I texted him one day. I was like, bro, if the amount of money we be spending on these Thanksgiving dinners and getting together to go to the beach and all this stuff, if we just use that money to invest in a house or, buy some stocks or whatever, like, we'd be straight. But it's like, who cares? Like, it's just all materialistic stuff. Yeah. And especially if the only real understanding we know of love and the way that we express our love is just by getting together and eating food, like, then so be it.
So be it.
I can get money on my own. I don't necessarily need the group 100%. Effort. And then there's a version of that where I can inspire this person. Right. Like, hey, mom, I understand, like, we love getting together, but like, hey, what do you think about, setting this up or setting
and
this
it's
up?
Like, it's crazy. Like, I look forward to going to the Christmas parties and then chilling with the family and stuff. Yeah, there's so much love there. And and I don't think many people understand how this feels. I don't think you understand how it feels to like, you have family, obviously, but then you have extended family. Keith's family, when I pop up, they're like, hey, what's going on? It's like, it's like legit family, not like Eddie the outsider that's Desmond's friend. It's like legit family, and getting to experience that, you know, on the holidays, like when the Christmas parties pop up, I'm like, man, I gotta be there. I've been to many of them over the years, you know, or Thanksgiving, whatever. And I got 2 families, so I go to, you know, on my mom's side, and you know, I definitely go hang with Keith's family for sure, or you know, which is my family. But yeah, my dad's not so much. But my dad's side, I don't know about all them. But yeah, I'm just blessed to have love. But, you know, I'm not going to hold y'all much longer, man. It looks like we coming to the end of this one. But I think that just the state of making someone happy is not real. I think that, you know, them having that intrinsically and also being able to have that gratitude and choose happiness is where it's at. I think that when we take somebody out on a special date or do something, I think we're adding to the cup.
That's icing on the cake.
We're adding to the cup. That cup is, I think we're running the cup over. I think the cup is full.
Are you getting biblical on us?
Oh yeah, I'm definitely doing it. I'm taking it there, Keith. I'm taking it there. Yeah,
I feel it.
That cup runneth over.
That's powerful, man. And like you said, it's a, and I really hope people, it's a hard concept to grasp, but I would just invite people to, if you hate your job, just show up at your job like, man, I'm so glad to be here. I'm so fortunate that I got a job. I'm so fortunate that I have enough money.
That first part is fake because you're not glad to be there, right? You're pissed that you're there, but you say, I'm blessed that I have the opportunity to pay. I'm blessed that I have the opportunity to pay my rent, to pay my phone bill, to pay for my child's basketball camp, to you know, go here or there, and it makes me happy seeing them happy. I'm blessed in that way, and I will go to this place that I don't like, and I will do it temporarily only because I know that it brings them joy. And that it brings me joy knowing that I can handle these things. Yeah. You know, but you could say these things all while looking for another profession, right? Yeah. We're not telling you to stay there, you know, but pain is a part of life. Pain is a part of life in every facet of life. You're going to have painful moments in a relationship. You're going to have painful moments in the gym where your muscles are hurting and you're pushing your body to the limit. You're going to have painful financial situations where you're broke, you ain't got shit, you eat noodles and burritos for like the day 12. You're going to have pain in every facet of your life. Yeah. You know, but you're going to have to find a way to choose happiness in each and every fucking one of them. Yeah. Yeah. Well, looks like we made it to the end of this podcast. If you made it to the end of this episode, we appreciate you. Thank you for listening to a Trucker's Mind podcast. I'm Eddie McGee.
It's your boy K Things.
We're out of here.
Peace.
Peace.